This is a new sample site that I've installed on the trial website, and it's for a company called Brush who overhaul trains. So if you've been given a password and a username and a password, you will be able to sign into this account. I'm signed in as a crash test dummy. That's basically what CTD means, and this is what you will see. So let's go straight to the landing page for the company. This is the company here, and I've put together just a few, one sample application. So they're involved in train overhaul, and when the train first arrives on site, there's a general inspection. When it's a process for receiving a train. So if I click through to this button here, it's the general inspection button. They have a contract that has they've already done 5 sets, but there's another 10 or so sets to do, and I'm just going to show you on set number 6, which is unit, that's the unit number there, and the unit is made up of 2 cars, and they're both going to be inspected. If I click through to here, 18% is the progress. So if I click through to see where that 18% has come from, it's come from a series of there it highlights the cell it's come from. In fact, it's there, 18% there, and this is summing up a column here, and this is summing up a column here. But what we can see is that this is the inspection process, so this is where to inspect and what to check. So these have been found to be okay, so there's no additional work required. That's been found to be okay, no additional work required. These were not found to be okay, and this is actually given rise to some additional rising work, and it's now with the client for his approval. So let's just investigate this a little further. So if I click through to the client approval, see where that's come from. The client approvals come down from here, which is a status. So the status of this job is that it's with client approval. What we can see is that this is the job that it came from. That's the car it was on, and it was a 3rd inspection job. It's internal, cab driver's side, etc., etc. All the details here, and I've put in a fictitious scenario here of circuit board spontaneous combustion because I had a nice little photo for it. This is where I've uploaded a photograph from here, and I've then allocated some time by clicking in here, and also using this user drop down here. It shows us all the people that are currently could possibly do this work. So these are the only people at the moment that have access to the system. So these people that are trialing the system, but you can choose anybody within your work group to do the work. So I've chosen a couple of people there, and I've also added some material costs. So we have materials, so a replacement circuit board and some easing oil. When that work is finished, I sign it off here. So this is to raise the work. So when we've been through that work, I sign it off here. Now this timing here is in fact the working time. It's the time from the time we created the wrap to the time we signed this thing off here. And what happened now, so I'm signing that off as the person who's done the work. Now I'm waiting for the client to receive the work, to receive notification of this job, and for him to approve and accept this piece of additional work. And once he's signed that off, then that will enable this signature. I'll maybe just show you that. I'm an administrator of the system, so I can, in fact, sign off. I won't be able to sign off as a crash test dummy. If I type in my own password, and I'll sign there for the client on the client's behalf, we can see there that I've given a signature to accept that this work is additional work. And the time from when this signature was made to when this signature was made is 0.2 hours, so not very long really. And you notice that when I sign this off now, this means that this has activated this box here, which is for a supervisor of the company to come along and to close the job out, just acknowledge. And when the final signature is made, it's a wrap locking signature. That means all the data will be locked down and nobody can change it. So if I go back to my report now, it's changed its status from we're waiting for client approval to say it's waiting for final sign-off, so we all know what to do. Now, that's basically the way the system works. I'll maybe come down to some checks that haven't yet been made, and at the moment there's a possibility of this check being made. It can either, yes, that's fine, in which case the wrap link is just hidden away, and say if this is fine, again that's hidden away. But if there's a problem here with this, what we would do is we would raise some additional work, and we'll click on here, and oh, it's just giving me a little warning. It's saying you're about to leave this page and you haven't saved something, so I'm going to say stay on the page for now. I'm just going to go down there, just save that. So that's changed all this. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this plus button here to create an additional arising work form. So if I click in there, it says, the site says a wrap instance of this AAW form with a unique key of the unit number, the car type, and the job ID being number 9 there, which is shown faded out there. Do you want to create it? And I will say OK. Now that actually sets the clock going. So this is the creation point. It's pulled through some of the details through from the job. I can now go add some more. I could just say another problem. And here I can add media. So if I go here, I can add files. And I can probably, even from, since I'm in, oh, there we go. Right, I'm going to take a photo of myself, so can't remember how to do this now. If I open that, oh, there we go. If I take a photo, not a very flattering photo, never mind. There's the photo. I'm going to submit that to the server now, and I can delete it if I didn't like it. I probably should do because it's a bad photo. I'll close it down there. There's a photo of a startled me, and I can put down I worked some time, and I can put down I'm a crash test dummy. So, and I won't put any materials down, and I'm going to sign off now as crash test dummy because I'm just put his password in. I sign that off. Then that's the crash test dummy signature, and the job has taken 0.23 hours. It did occur to me that I could be clever about this, and I could actually make this calculation of time appear automatically in here, and to automatically calculate the man hours. Now that's appropriate if you're using devices that you'll take out to the job with you, and you'll fill in the wrap as you complete the job. That would actually be a very accurate way of doing it and save people worrying about how much time they've actually spent on things, and it could give the client some confidence. But of course, again, we've got the same process. We've raised the job, and it's now, this client signature is now activated, so we're waiting for the client. So if we go back, every time we make a signature, it's automatically saved, so we can go straight back to our report, and we can see that job check 9 is now waiting for client approval. So you can see how the system works. Now, the great thing about this is that all this information is being collected in a database. There's all kinds of reports that we could run from here. So we could look to see, who's taking all the time. Is it the actual job itself? Is it waiting for the client approval, or is it the guy closing the job out? So there's lots of things we can do there. We can monitor how fast we are at doing particular jobs and that kind of thing. The other thing that we can do is, quite often, if you've been on holiday for 2 weeks and you've come back and you're the supervisor for this job, and there's lots of things to sign out, you could look at your in tray. And in your in tray, it's telling me, as crash test dummy, there is one form here that is waiting for me. So show me anything that is waiting for my signature. Well, there's a form here, and there's a form that I can sign off apparently, so I'm going to click through and just see exactly what it is. And it's saying that I could sign this off. So crash test dummy is in fact a supervisor. So what I'm going to do is telling me to sign it off. So I'm going to put my password in, or crash test dummy's password, and I'll sign it off there now. Now, we've now closed that off. That is now locked. We can't modify that. We can actually change things, but we can't save it. So we cannot corrupt that data anymore. And the status is now closed. So that's job done. And I am actually going to leave this page because I can't stay on the page. It recognises that I've made a change. I'm going to leave it because I can't submit it to the database anymore. It's completely locked down. Now there's nothing waiting for me, and that's it. My job's done. Okay, thank you very much for listening.